Welcome back. So all the time when I'm out testing, I get asked, what are you testing for? What are you doing? Why do we need this? And so on, so forth. So I figured let's go ahead and make this quick video explaining what a backflow preventer does, why we need it, and hopefully it can answer some of your questions. And if you have more questions, feel free to ask. I'm willing to look at the comments and answer all the questions that I can. So first, there's a couple different types of backflow preventers. So these are older ones here, but this is called an RPZ, or reduced pressure principal assembly. And what it does is it has 2 checks and a relief valve. This is a dual check or a double check, depending on what you call it. Some people call it one or another. But this is basically the same as that, 2 checks, but no relief. You may have also heard it be called a cross-connection control device. It all depends on what your municipality calls it or what your plumber. Some people interchange them. They're all the same. So what are they on? Typically, you will see RPZ on a lawn irrigation system, boiler system, or sometimes even a fire suppression system. Typically though, a fire suppression system is going to have a dual check. It doesn't have a relief, and that's because it's considered lower risk. The applications are for different things. So an RPZ is for what they consider higher risk than a dual check, which is for lower risk. And when I say higher or lower risk, of contamination. So in, say, a boiler system, they may have glycol installed in the system. If you have a boiler system with glycol in it, you don't want glycol getting into your drinking water. So you're going to have an RPZ because you got chemicals that could potentially be introduced into your drinking water. The time what that would be is, say you got to change your water heater or a water softener or any plumbing work that you would do that would require you to drain water back. You could potentially siphon that back. So with an RPZ, as soon as you have a back pressure of water, it's going to, one, close those checks, and then it's going to open that relief. So if any glycol got back, it would get dumped out the relief, therefore eliminating any chance that you would get anything introduced into your drinking water. Water pressure itself is a backflow prevention because it's going to flow one way. So that's basically what an RPZ or dual check's doing, is making sure water flows one way. So with the dual check, it's lower risk, so therefore if you do get a back pressure, it won't dump water, but it has 2 lines of defense. You have 2 check valves that are going to close to stop it. So you have redundancy to protect you. So why or what am I testing when I'm out there? So what am I testing when I'm out here? Making sure all these components of the dual checks and the RPZs are working. So inside, this is from a different valve here, it has a check valve that when water goes through, opens, and then when the water stops, it closes. So it's spring loaded, it pushes back, so it's normally closed. Anytime you give water flow, that opens, but as soon as the water stops, those close. So no matter what, these check valves are closing. Well, that's the plan at least. So that is what the testing is for. I'm making sure, one, that these checks are operating, both checks, making sure that they're sealing properly, and on an RPZ, we're making sure that that relief actually opens. Because if that relief doesn't open, it's not doing its job. It's the dual check, which is probably still protecting you, but it's supposed to evacuate any chemicals or whatever's in the water that you don't want to get back. So we have to make sure that opens too. So we have parameters of how many pounds of pressure we need to open that relief valve. So I'm just going through making sure with my tester that everything inside is doing what it's supposed to be doing to protect you and the city's water. I mean, that's just what it's there for. It's not to eliminate any diseases or chemicals. It's just isolating it and making sure that everything is staying where it's supposed to and it doesn't contaminate anything else. So hopefully this has answered some of your questions. Maybe it made more questions, but I'm willing to answer those for you if you have them. So leave them in the comments below and I will go ahead and respond as soon as I can. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.